Welcome to Relish Books. Today I'm going to be listing and ranking the books that I have read in the first half of this year. So the first half of the year is over now, and I have 20 titles here. So I thought I'd do this half of the year and then the second half of the year at the end of the year, because doing a whole year's worth of ranking seems like way too much. At least hopefully. Hopefully I'll have read enough books to where it's way too much. But I have 20 titles here. These are not including anything that I'm still working on. I've mentioned a couple titles that I'm still in the middle of. I'm still reading For Whom the Bell Tolls, and I'm not very far, and stuff like that. So I won't be ranking those, and I also won't be ranking any rereads. So these are all titles that were new to me. And also, these are ranked just on what were my favorites mostly, not super closely analyzing strengths and weaknesses. Even 20 titles to me seemed like way too much to really closely rank when they're so different. It's different if you're like ranking 20 titles by the same author, where they have like the same kind of strengths and weaknesses to work with, but some of these are classics, some of these are modern, some of these are children's books. I guess only like two of them. Anyway, it's a wide range, and so I feel like it's very hard to really rank them according to like what's better or worse. So it's really just based on what I enjoyed the most, and I just did it very quickly, just off the top of my head, what seemed the most, that I liked the most. And just because some of these are on the bottom, that's because some of them have to be on the bottom. I didn't hate any of the books that are on this list, really. There were good things about all of them. Some of them I didn't like very much, but they all had their good points, and I have done video reviews on almost all of them. So anyway, I'm just going to read the list, and then I'm going to give them a quick ranking just based on enjoyment. So here we go. Dombey and Son, A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court, Look Homeward Angel, Crime and Punishment, Winesburg, Ohio, Travels with Charlie, Far from the Madding Crowd, The House on the Strand, Jamaica Inn, My Cousin Rachel, Their Eyes Were Watching God, The House of Mirth, The Age of Innocence, Ferris, An Elephant in the Garden, Mistborn: The Final Empire, All Quiet on the Western Front, Piranesi, The City of Bells, and Cranford. So, very wide range. I'm going to start in first position. That seems easier to me than working backwards. So in first place, my favorite and what I really felt was the best and most meaningful to me, at least at this time, from this list. So in number one, All Quiet on the Western Front. I just feel like of this list of titles, it was the most striking. It was the most different from anything I'd really read before. I just thought it was really, really beautiful and very, I don't even know what the word is. It was very punchy. It really came home to me. That's all I really know how to say about that. Number two, sorry, I have these written all over the place, so it's kind of hard to find. Number two, I have Crime and Punishment. This was kind of a difficult choice, putting this one at number two, but I think looking back, this is one of the ones that I had the most positive reaction from. It took me a long time to get into it, but once I did, I found it to be very rewarding. Number three, Dombey and Son. I don't think it's Dickens' greatest by a long shot, but I was really in the mood for Dickens, and so I really enjoyed it at the time. On a reread, definitely not one of my favorites of his, but I enjoyed it a lot when I read it. Number four, Their Eyes Were Watching God. It was a beautifully written, striking, poetic, really, novel, whose writing was some of the most beautiful I've ever read. I really want to read more by that author. And it was one of those random finds that I just found and read and was a real delight and took me on a journey. Number 5, The House of Mirth. It's interesting to me that I have that one at number 5. I'm like questioning my own judgment looking back. But I did really like that one. It was my introduction to Edith Wharton's writing, which is amazing. It was really sad, but it was really thought-provoking. I loved the character of Lily Bart. I thought she was just an incredible literary character, and that's really why I have that one at number 5. Number 6, A City of Bells, just because it was really refreshing and enjoyable, if not technically that great. Number 7, Cranford. I don't really have a finished opinion on this yet. I am very biased by the show. The show Cranford is one of my all-time favorite shows, movies, film adaptations of anything ever. It is very different from the book because the show is a combination of 3 or maybe 4, at least 3 Elizabeth Gaskell novels, and it combines so perfectly and so beautifully a bunch of different narratives, which is very impressive and really good. It's an amazing, amazing show. The book is more, it's just following obviously just a section of the plots that the show has. So it's a lot tamer and more just lighthearted. It moves almost in the pace of like short stories, but I just have a very close personal connection to it, so I put that one at number 7. Number 8, I have Travels with Charlie. That was just really interesting. It was a really fun, interesting, also one of my only, possibly my only nonfiction books on here. Number 9, Far from the Madding Crowd. 10, My Cousin Rachel, mostly just because it is well written and gripping. It's good for what it is, really. Number 11, The Age of Innocence. Number 12, Look Homeward, Angel. I have so many mixed thoughts on that one. You'd have to look at my video to see what I thought. It's not that I liked the book. There's so much in it. I think it's kind of a masterpiece in its summation of human existence or the transition of childhood to adulthood. So I think it's really amazing. I feel like I should go back and re-rank these after I've had a little more time to think about them and meditate on them. Maybe at the end of the year I'll do a re-ranking. I don't know. Number 13, Mistborn, The Final Empire. Not the kind of thing I usually read, but I actually really enjoyed it. It was fun. I haven't really been able to get into the second one yet. I'm working on it, but I just feel like it is very lacking. It's missing something that was very important to the first book, and so I don't know how much I'm going to be able to get into the second one, but I did really enjoy that first one. 14, Ferris by Kate DiCamillo. It's sad that this isn't higher on my list because I love Kate DiCamillo's books, but Ferris was a pretty story, but it just was really lacking in development, in my opinion. 15, Jamaica Inn. I did enjoy that one, but it hasn't really stayed with me that much. Looking back, I'm just kind of like, yeah, it was pretty good. So that one's at 15. 16, where is it? Sorry, I'm not finding 16. Hang on a second. Okay, I got it. 16, Piranesi. I did enjoy this book. I liked the first half a lot better than the second half. The mystery and the unique quality of the writing kind of wore off after the first couple chapters. So that's kind of my complaint. But it was still interesting. Still glad I read it. 17, A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court. I thought the book was funny. I liked it the best of any Mark Twain that I've read. Still didn't love it. 18, Elephant in the Garden. I liked the story. The writing was pretty amateurish, but it was still a fun story. Again, I didn't hate any of these, so that's good. 19, Winesburg, Ohio. Very well written, but I had a problem with just the tone. The whole tone of the book was very dark and bitter, and just kind of unpleasant. And I was like, I'm not really enjoying it. I can appreciate the literary quality of it, but the messages and just the portrayal of human life, it's kind of, I mentioned in my video about it, it's kind of an equal opposite type of thing to Dandelion Wine. I feel like it's a darker, more adult version of Dandelion Wine. It's kind of like small town life stories, but they're all depressing. So, yeah, I don't like stuff that's only depressing. And 20, in last place, The House on the Strand. Again, well written, but the story just didn't hold much, in my opinion. It was kind of just one of those stories that's written to be written and doesn't have a lot going for it. So that's my ranking on the books that I have read so far this year. I meant to have a few others on there. I meant to have finished For Whom the Bell Tolls, The Three Musketeers, and Lonesome Dove. I'm still going to have to work on those and make videos on them later. But those 20 titles, in general, I am really happy because, like I said, I did not hate any of them. And I feel like I got something out of all of them, and a bunch of them I really loved. So that's my wrap up for the first half of the year. And I'm super excited for the second half, where I hope to read even more. So thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.